that piece of the puzzle out. And on the other side, of course, is the quarterback. Brooks, thank you very much. So those are the two big name players in this game. Let's start with Ty Simpson. Let's try to break down what is going on with him, why is he so successful, and what must he do in Columbia this weekend.
Yeah, Paul, I tweeted it last week. I think of all the quarterbacks that we see in college football right now, Ty Simpson, through 5 starts this year, is playing some of the most NFL-ready football, and I'm excited to show you what I'm talking about. Let's get after it. All right, so, Paul, he's doing a tremendous job collecting a lot of information pre-snap, right? And they're doing a good job of allowing him time to collect that information. This is 2nd and 20 right here as an offense. We're behind the sticks, right? We're behind the schedule. We need another chunk play. You heard Eli Drinkowitz on your show this week or during his press conference talking about really doing a good job attacking zone windows. They're giving him a lot of answers. He's getting a lot of them from the defense as well. This safety that was at the top of the short side of the field is bailing to the middle of the field. You can see that, Paul. We have 2 wide receivers, a tight end rather, and Isaiah Horton switch releasing is what we call this right here into the boundary. Ty Simpson doing a good job with his eyes. We'll show you from the tight, all right, collecting all this information in the middle of his drop. Puts a great ball right there for Isaiah Horton where only his people can see it. But this is what I'm talking about, Paul. This is what the NFL collection of data right here before the snap and after the snap. As we snap the football, he locks his eyes on that safety, sees him rotating away from the boundary to the field. Now, as we get into our drop, we're going to take our eyes to this corner and see where exactly is he compromised. His hips are open to the tight end. Now we're going to take one hitch and we're going to rip that football and put it in the only spot where we can go get it as an offense. Doing a tremendous job of playing on time, collecting information pre-snap, all right, and then getting it done post-snap. It's another example right here on 3rd and 4. Like I said, they're doing a great job of allowing him to collect a ton of information pre-snap. Both he and Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator. This is called check with me, Paul. They're going to get at the line of scrimmage, do a lot of hard counts, force Vanderbilt to dictate and show what they are doing defensively. They're bringing nickel pressure right here and playing another version of cover 2 right here with the corners rolled down. They're going to press these wide receivers, all right, and then jump whatever jumps to the flat right here on 3rd and 4. And we know this as an offense because that's the structure of the defense that they are playing. All right, not only did we see the nickel pressure, we get it picked up. Great job right there by the back. But look at this ball from Ty Simpson thrown into the vulnerability of the defense, right? The dead spot of the defense in that cover 2. We got the flats covered. We got the deep half covered. We are vulnerable right there in that hole throw is what we call that, Paul. Doing a great job. He got that ball released in under 2 seconds, Paul. 1.9 seconds right there as a quarterback. He's also doing a really good job of off of play action and generally as a quarterback competing in the middle of the field, which is a very hard thing to get young quarterbacks to do, particularly this early in the snap. We have play action, turning our back to the defense, right? As soon as we get into our drop, we got to collect a lot of information. Where did that middle of the field safety go? He's still in the middle of the field. We have a completable option right here from Isaiah, or the number 11, working in a dig right here into this window. I want you to see this from the tight, Paul, because it's an NFL window throw. This safety does his best job of covering this concept. He drives hard down onto this dig from this wide receiver. He's already triggered, which means we as a quarterback have to put this football in a position where only our guy can go get it, right? That DB is going to have to run through our guy to go get the football. They got great weapons at Alabama. He's doing a great job of trusting them to go make plays, and by God, they're doing it for him, Paul. All right, and the other thing about him, he's getting rid of the football so quickly that as a defensive coordinator, we feel like we have to pressure him. We feel like we have to get after him, right? We feel like we have to move him off of his spot. Well, people forget, man, this is the highest rated recruit at the quarterback position in the history of the state of Tennessee, Paul, and he's a great athlete. He's a lot better athlete than you think. So right here, Vanderbilt sends a good pressure, gets home, right, pushes him off of his spot. He runs away from a defensive tackle, and I love this rep from him. He's so disciplined. Watch this right here, Paul. Watch him put his head down and really accelerate away from this defensive tackle. Now, get his eyes back downfield, realizing 17's found space, and let's give him a great ball to rip him for another chunk. And here's the scariest part about what they've got going on, Paul. They're so dynamic. They've been throwing for 300 yards a game offensively through the air. By God, if they ever figured out a run game to be able to chunk you in the run game, you were going to be in trouble as a defensive coordinator. And that's exactly what they're doing now. And you imagine they would do it. They're way too good from center over to left tackle here, Paul, at Alabama, to not expect them to eventually create some displacement. And that's what they're doing. They got counter right here as an offense. Counter's only as good as the displacement created on that front side defensive tackle. And boys, we're going to move him against his will 7 yards downfield, put him into the lap of that linebacker, and we've got an absolute crease for Jam Miller. Paul, they've got a lot of answers right now, and the quarterback's finding all of them.
Talking here at Brooks Austin, the film guy, just amazing. So, okay, that's what Alabama is dealing with, Brooke. Let's flip it around and talk about Ahmad Hardy, whose numbers are just unreal. So Alabama struggled in the first game. They've done pretty well since then defensively. So give us what is facing Kane Womack and that Alabama defense against one of the most dangerous rushing attacks in America.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. When you go play Missouri Tiger football, you're going to have to stop wide zone. Historically, that's what Eli Drinkwitz is all about. And now that Ahmad Hardy has gotten into this offense, it provides this downhill ability for them. They're incredible in the run design. Watch this right here, Paul. They're going to sell that wide zone concept, okay? They're going to bring in 12 personnel right here, got 2 tight ends. Look at this action from the offensive line. Look at the action from the back. Everybody on the field thinks we're getting wide zone, when in reality, Paul, we're getting what we call duo coming back the other way. We got a tight end for the defensive end. We got another tight end up for this safety. But here's what great backs do, Paul. They make us right as an offense when somebody goes wrong. They do more than just their job. They do your job as well. I want you to take a look at this left tackle. Right now, they have a combination working up to number 7 right here. But his eye's failing, Paul. He's got bad eye discipline. You ever heard a coach say that? That's exactly what happens to this left tackle. Boom. Takes his eyes to another assignment that is not his. And what does that create? That allows number 7 to show right up in the hole. Okay, and if I ever showed you this freeze frame in SEC football, that's a 2-yard gain. Best case scenario offensively, we run through contact. We get yards after contact right here. We're in a 2nd and 6. Paul, this is a 45-yard explosive for this Missouri offense because of individual excellence from Ahmad Hardy. Watch him run through number 7 right now, and boom, we're out the gate, all right, and we're into open field, and we're dangerous as can be in open field. And you know it, right? There's individual excellence, and I think they're doing a great job out there at Missouri stacking these explosives, Paul, right? Right after Ahmad Hardy rips us for a big 60-yard explosive or a 40-yard explosive, we get right back on the ball. We play fast. We give a very similar action, right? We put the ball into the belly of the back. We create this safety to feel like he's in compromised positions, playing the run, and bang. Now we got a one-on-one opportunity for our tight end. Bo Pribula does a great job putting that ball where only his guy can get it. And in 2 plays, Missouri has smacked you with 60 yards, 70 yards of explosives, all based off of Ahmad Hardy, right? His individual excellence creating stresses for the defense. Same exact situation right here. I want to show you this. We're beat as an offense. We're beat as an offensive line. This motion right here, Paul, creates this nickel to trigger into the run fit, right? Those are his principles. So as we go to run the play right here, the left tackle thinks we're working all the way out. The left guard thinks we're working all the way out. The center does not get the message. He works up. Well, now we got 3 guys onto our front side of our offensive line, and we only have 2. What is that going to create? It's going to create a free runner, right? A defensive lineman, again, right at the line of scrimmage. But individual excellence, he takes care of it all. Paul, it's a 25-yard run for this Missouri football team. Bang, gets right into the crease of the defense, and now he's off to the races yet again. And I truly believe this stuff is contagious in the backfield. When you see the starter putting that kind of stuff on tape, you get antsy. Every time you get in there to give them a breather, you want to put some of this stuff on tape as well, and it becomes contagious for your offense. It becomes contagious for your running back room, all right? And not only that, I told you, Paul, to start, when you play Missouri football, at some point you're going to get gashed with wide zone. They are going to stretch you, and he's going to put his foot in the ground, and it's a problem, all right? It's always been a problem. Since Eli Drinkwitz has been there, they have ran wide zone better, in my opinion, than anybody else in college football, and all it takes is one crease, and this guy gets it open the field. And again, he is individually excellent, but great job right here on the front side, absorbing these stunts and slants from South Carolina. Boom, right tackle passing that off to his right guard doing a great job sealing that. We get up to the linebacker, and I'm telling you right now, you put Ahmad Hardy one-on-one with the safety, it's trouble. It's going to be absolute trouble, Paul. That is a tough assignment for any defensive unit.
Brooks, I know you've given us a lot of information. You've laid it out. Does either side have an edge in your estimation?
Look, I'm an explosives guy. I think the offense that is most consistently explosive going into football games like this, I'm going to pick. And in that battle right now in this conference, nobody's winning that more than Alabama. Alabama now has a run game, and that terrifies me if I were a defensive coordinator, because we got to commit bodies to the box. And that wide receiver unit is going to threaten us and going to scare us if we're way overcommitted to the run game.
Great stuff. Brooks, that was fantastic. We can't wait to do this again. Brooks Austin, the film guy, going deep into the film with us between the Alabama game at Missouri. We'll take a short break, more of your phone calls. We'll talk about Red River a little bit later. It's been a busy show, but plenty of time for you to get in.